Pamela, what time do you plan to arrive home? It's already 6:30 p.m., you know? You should have been here hours ago.
I'm really sorry. My meeting took much longer than I anticipated. I'm just about to board the train that will take me home. Please don't be angry with me.
Ugh, you've been coming home later and later these days. My poor boy James has been sitting here with a rumbling stomach, waiting for you to cook him a decent meal. Do you want to make my son starve to death? I'm sure that you have the ability to slip out of those boring meetings at work. Please show some consideration, young lady. Your husband's dinner is much more important than your meetings anyway.
No, this was a crucial meeting about one of our collaboration products with another company. I have a lot of responsibility on this project, so there's no way I can leave before the meeting is over. I have to stay until the end and make sure everything is done properly.
Stop making excuses just so you can focus on work while neglecting your essential duties as a wife, such as looking after your husband and making him happy. My son has no need for such a lazy and selfish wife. He'll divorce you. I say, divorce. You don't deserve him.
Looking after him? Come on. James is a fully grown man, not a baby. He can take care of himself. Plus, he's unemployed right now and spends all of his time at home. He has plenty of time to cook for himself or help you out in the kitchen.
Do not talk back to me, young lady. You are being very disrespectful and rude.
Sorry. It's going to be a little while longer before I get home, though. So if he's really desperate for something to eat, you're more than welcome to use whatever's in the fridge to make something to eat between yourselves. There's some eggs, cheese, bread, and ham. You can make a sandwich or an omelet or something.
What? Do you seriously intend to make your mother-in-law into some cheap imitation kitchen maid? Ugh, have you no shame? I've never heard of such cheek. You are being very ungrateful and inconsiderate. I'll have him divorce you if you're not careful. You are not worthy of being his wife.
No, I didn't mean that. I'm sorry. Just forget I said anything. I didn't want to upset you.
We won't be waiting for you any longer. Too hungry. He's going to faint. If he doesn't eat soon, we'll find a sushi restaurant or someplace to eat out tonight. So we won't be needing any supper from the likes of you. You can keep your food for yourself.
Hold on. Where are you going to get the money for that? You know we're on a tight budget right now. We can't afford to eat out.
Oh, good grief. You really are a failure of a wife. My son picked the short straw with you, didn't he? You are a terrible match for him. I'll have him divorce you before long. I mean it. You are ruining his life.
James, are you still awake? Can you spare a minute to talk to me?
What do you want? I was just about to drift off to sleep. Besides, if you have something to say, why don't you just come and talk to me face to face? Why do you need to send messages when we're living under the same roof?
But if I come to speak to you, your mom will probably overhear our conversation. Anyway, it's about your mother. Is there no way we can live separately from her? This arrangement with the three of us sharing the same house. It's just not working out.
What? For heaven's sakes. You're not going on about my mom again, are you? Haven't you had enough of nagging me about her?
To tell you the truth, James, I'm extremely stressed out. I agreed to have her live with us because I felt sorry for her being lonely after your dad passed away. But she's causing me so much stress. It's unbelievable. Does she think I'm some kind of servant? She forces me to do all the housework, even though I'm working long hours at my job. Not only that, but she barely ever lifts a finger to help me out. If there's ever anything she doesn't like, even if it's a minor thing, she immediately brings up divorce and threatens to make you end the marriage with me. What's more, despite the fact that she makes absolutely no money and contributes nothing to the household finances, she goes out to restaurants on extravagant spending sprees, always bringing home bag loads of useless junk. There's no other way to put it, James. I've reached my breaking point, and I can't take it anymore.
What do you want me to do? You can complain about her as much as you want, but she doesn't have anywhere else to go. She sold the family home when my dad died. We're the ones who took her in. I can't just kick her out now, can I? The only money she has to her name is her pension. So when she says she can't afford to contribute, she's telling the truth. Plus, without my dad, she's very lonely. Surely it won't hurt to indulge her selfishness just a little bit, every once in a while.
This goes beyond the level of mere selfishness. She sneers and barks orders at me, tells me I'm not fit to eat in the same room as her, forces me to eat nothing but leftovers. She insists that you, being the husband, must always be the first to use the bathtub, with her, being the all-important mother-in-law, using it second. Then, when my turn finally does come around, there are even some times when she lets the water out before I can get in. For some strange reason, she constantly gives me midnight sermons on how a wife should act. So I can't even sleep half the time because of her non-stop preaching. Since she moved in with us a year ago, I lost 10 kilograms from not eating properly due to all the stress. This is malicious bullying, plain and simple. It's a miracle I managed to tolerate her this long. And the only reason I did is because she's your mom. But I'm sick of being treated like I'm less than human. I've reached my limit. Please, James, have her move somewhere else. Maybe an apartment, or a shared house or something. I don't know, just anywhere but here. If that's impossible, at the very least, could you please tell her to stop treating me this way? If you don't do something, I'm going to snap.
Fine. Sheesh, woman, I get it. I'll mention it to her at some point, if I remember. Anyway, more importantly, I need $500.
What? $500? What? What are you going to use it for?
Travel expenses. I'm looking for work right now, so I need money for bus fares and trains and stuff.
What? But I gave you money for travel expenses not that long ago. You get $300 a month for that already.
That's peanuts. I already used it all. Get real, woman. $300 just doesn't cut it. Give me $500.
Wait, you're not. No way. Are you visiting casinos again?
What? Come on. It's not like it's a big deal. I don't go very often, and I hardly spend anything when I do. It's a way for me to relax after the hours I spent job hunting.
You haven't forgotten that you lost your last job because you got caught sneaking out of the office and visiting casinos when you were supposed to be working. Have you? You got down on your knees and swore to me that you'd never visit a casino again. James, you swore. You looked me in the eye and promised me that. In spite of that, you're at it again? And this time you're blowing the money that I give you for travel expenses on the slots. If that's where it's going, you'll never get another cent out of me. You can forget about it.
Oh, give it a rest, woman. You're like a broken record. Nag, nag, nag. That's all you ever do. It's up to me how I spend my time. Are you saying I'm banned from relaxing? To take my mind off the stress of trying to find a job in this tough economy. Who gave you the authority to do that? The only thing you're good for is bringing in money anyway. If you can't even toss me a few dollars when I'm in a pinch, then what the hell do you bring to the table? What else do you have to offer?
What? What does that mean? The only reason I have to work like a dog now is because you got fired for acting like a moron. Job hunting? Give me a break. All you do is laze around on the sofa like a sack of potatoes. You don't even bother to look for work. You just sit there and watch TV all day. Then you have the nerve to spend the money I give you for getting around town on the slots? You have no right to be angry with me. You should be grateful that I'm supporting you.
Oh, just button it already. Nag, nag, nag. You think you're so much better than me just because you happen to have a job, don't you? You think you can boss me around and tell me what to do, don't you? Screw this. I'm going to sleep. I don't need to listen to your crap.
Wait, James, don't go. We need to talk.
Excuse me, Pamela. Answer me right now. Don't you dare ignore me.
What do you want from me? Can't you see I'm at work right now? I have a lot of things to do, and I don't have time for your nonsense.
I want you to stop complaining to James all the time. I want you to stop giving him a hard time because he's having some difficulties finding work. How dare you go whining to him behind my back like a little snake? You really are a spiteful, disrespectful kind of woman. You really have no respect for me and my son.
What are you talking about?
Don't play dumb with me, young lady. You know exactly what I'm talking about. One thing you don't seem to understand about my son is that he's recharging his batteries right now. He's deeply depressed because things didn't work out at his last company. He was unfairly treated and he deserves better. Any normal wife would be trying to make her husband feel better right now. Ugh, but you're far from it. You're actually going on the attack? You're atrocious. You're a devil, I tell you, a devil. You're ruining his life and mine. There's nothing for it but divorce. You need to get out of our lives.
The fact that you're messaging me like this now must mean that James just woke up from his hibernation on the sofa and told you about the conversation me and him had yesterday. Right? I bet he told you about what I said about him finding a job and nothing else. Am I right? Ugh, I give up. You two are hopeless.
Now you listen to me and you listen well, young lady. You need to make more of an effort to stand up for your husband. You need to have his back. Just because you happen to have a job, that doesn't make you better than him. You're not superior to him in any way. You're his wife, not his boss.
Right, sure. I'm sorry. I'm occupied with work right now, so would you be kind enough to tell me off later instead? I'm busy, I have deadlines to meet, and clients to satisfy. Unlike some people, I actually have a career.
Oh, good grief. Look at you. A fully grown woman bragging about having a job like it's some kind of special achievement. Tell me, Pamela, what good is a woman who does nothing but work? What kind of a wife are you? What kind of a mother will you be? Oh, and I'll never have any grandchildren with a daughter-in-law like you. How about you fulfill your feminine duties as a wife for a change? How about you cook, clean and take care of your husband. How about you show some love and affection? I must be the unluckiest, most mistreated mother-in-law in the whole world. Aren't you big enough to admit your wrongdoing and walk away with some dignity? Get a divorce. You don't deserve my son.
You're really annoying me now. Would you just shut up for once? You're always nagging and criticizing me. You're always interfering in our lives and trying to control us.
What? How dare you? What has gotten into you today? Where did this rebellious attitude come from all of a sudden? Know your place, young lady. Who do you think the mistress of this household is? Who do you think has the final say in this family? If you defy me, I will have my son divorce you. I'll make sure he gets rid of you. You're nothing but a burden and a nuisance.
Okay, divorce it is.
Huh? What did you just say?
Fine, have it your way. I'll divorce him. It's not like I ever enjoyed being married to an unemployed leech who does nothing but sit on the couch all day anyway. Nor do I take any great pleasure in having to share a roof with this parasitic, megalomaniac old hag of a mother who thinks she can boss me around. I'm tossing that egotistical, jobless douchebag in the gutter where he belongs. Divorce! Let's do it. I'm ready. I'm more than ready. I can't wait to get rid of him and his toxic family.
Wait, what's gotten into you, Pamela? Is this some kind of joke? Are you being serious? You'd actually go through with it.
You see, the thing is, you should have known that there was a limit to how much of your crap I was willing to tolerate. You should have known that I won't put up with your nonsense forever.
What?
Did you think I was just going to shut my mouth forever? Like an obedient little slave while you hurled abuse at me? Are you and James actually aware of your current positions? What good is a woman who does nothing but work, you ask? How about putting food on the table for you and your waste of a space, man-child of a son? How about paying the bills for you and your useless, freeloading son? How about providing a home for you and your ungrateful, disrespectful son? Who did you think it is putting a roof over your heads? Who do you think it is who's looking after you and enabling your lazy, deadbeat lifestyles? Go on, think about it. This one's really easy. It's me. It's always been me.
Oh my God, Pamela. What has gotten into you? This isn't like you at all. You've never spoken to me like this before.
It's not that something's gotten into me. It's that you think you can manipulate and take advantage of me and my kindness. You think you can treat me like dirt and get away with it, huh? You're so wrong. Ask yourself, do you think I enjoy feeding, clothing, and providing shelter for a malicious, bullying old hag of a mother-in-law? Do you think I enjoy working hard every day while you sit on your ass and do nothing? The only reason I reluctantly agreed to you living here in the first place was due to my mercy and kindness. I felt bad about you living all on your own after your husband died. I wanted to give you a chance to be part of our family. And this is how you repay me, by walking around like you own the place and treating me like your slave. By interfering in our marriage and trying to control our lives. By threatening me with divorce when you don't get your way. Do you have any awareness of how arrogant and shameless your behavior is? Well, are you going to answer me, you miserable, sponging witch?
No, but taking care of your mother-in-law is a decent thing to do. It's the right thing to do. It's the duty of a good wife and a good daughter-in-law. It's the way things have always been and the way things should be.
What? I'm not sure what common decency or tradition you're talking about. They certainly don't apply to sponging vagrants like you. You are also aware that I'm not your daughter, right? Even still, I wouldn't tolerate this from my own mom. So what do you think gives you the right? If you were actually my mom, I'd be just as eager to get you out of my life. In fact, I'd be even more eager, because you'd be an embarrassment and a disgrace to me.
No, wait, Pamela. I may not be your mother, but surely this is no way to talk to your mother-in-law. And what on earth is all this coarse, vulgar language, you barbarian? It's just as I thought all along. You are simply not suitable to be my son's wife. It's divorce for you. Divorce. Get out of our house.
I already told you I'm divorcing him. However, the only ones who need to get out are you two.
What? Why?
Seems like you might have forgotten this minor detail, but the place you're currently living in rent-free, like the pair of grotesque, parasitic termites you are, is the apartment I bought back when I was single. It's the apartment I worked hard for and paid for. It's my name on the deed. And it's my apartment.
What? Really?
No way. You actually forgot? I did tell you before, remember? It was the day you moved in. It was the day I made the biggest mistake of my life. I gave you a thorough explanation about all the details regarding the living situation. Aren't you a little too young to be going senile?
Well, now that you mention it, I think I might remember you telling me something along those lines, but you can hardly expect me to remember every conversation we had last year. You can hardly expect me to remember every word you said.
The thing is, whether you remember or not makes zero difference to me. Once the divorce is finalized, you and the Sloth King will be packing your things and leaving for good. Because, as I told you, you're living in my apartment. You'll no longer be my mother-in-law, and he'll no longer be my husband. And sadly for you, I'm not the kind of person to let a pair of strangers live like bums in my house. Now, I'll be hitting James with the divorce papers when I get home today. Make sure the two of you get your belongings together, okay? Luckily for you, in my infinite generosity and benevolence, I'm willing to give you until tomorrow evening to get out. Don't think you'll be getting anything to eat, though.
Pamela, please just wait. Surely you're not going to divorce him immediately. Today. You don't actually plan on kicking your husband and mother-in-law out on the streets, do you? I simply do not agree. The divorce isn't happening. I won't allow it.
What the? Why, have you done a complete 180 all of a sudden? You seem to be happy enough to walk all over me when you thought you could get away with it. You waved around the notion of a divorce like it was your prized family crest, using it as a pretext to say whatever you wanted, whenever you wanted. Then, the moment you realize things are no longer going in your favor, you're suddenly opposed to it. Don't make me laugh.
What?
You're the one who started all this in the first place. You wanted a fight, didn't you? All I did was give you what you wanted. You should be grateful. Don't you dare try to start to worm your way out of it all of a sudden. And I won't allow it. Who do you think you are? Since when were you the queen? Did I miss your coronation? How about you try cultivating some awareness of your own position for once, and putting a lid on that monstrous mouth of yours?
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. This is all my fault.
It's too late to apologize now. I'm dead set on divorce. And nothing can change my mind. Make sure you're gone by tomorrow night. And let me make one thing abundantly clear. There will be no distribution of assets. James, the eternal NEET, has no savings of his own. And we have no shared accounts either. There's no money for him to receive, not a single cent, so don't bother trying to put it in any claims. I would feel bad about throwing you out onto the streets without any clothes. So, I'll allow you to take the bare minimum of clothing and everyday necessities with you. I take it you have no complaints about that if I've made myself clear? Hurry up and get out of my apartment. And take your good-for-nothing son with you.
Oh my gosh. Oh, please just wait. We don't have anywhere to live. We sold the family home, and my husband passed. My pension doesn't amount to much either. But James doesn't even have a job. Please.
Oh, I see. Just so I understand, you'll be in dire straits because your son's a NEET, and you have no place to stay and no money. Is that right? Okay, so what?
Huh?
That's not my problem. The fact that your son's a NEET, or that you have nowhere to stay, or that you have no money, none of these things are my fault. If you're struggling for money, you could always have James earn you both a living on the slots. And why can't you find a job if you got the energy to bully your daughter-in-law 24/7? Then holding down a job shouldn't be a problem. Oh, I saw a local supermarket was recruiting the other day. Do that.
Oh my God.
God's not going to help you now. Nor is playing the victim. And I mean, please. Is this really any way for a full-grown woman to behave? If you don't have any money, then you work. Surely you at least understand that you're not a child.
Why? Why are you doing this?
I think you know full well.
Why?
Because you defied the mistress of the household. As soon as I stepped into the house after a long day at work, I saw James and his mother-in-law on their knees, blocking my way. They clasped their hands together and cried out in unison, "Please, forgive us for our terrible behavior." But I pushed them aside and said, "If you have enough energy to kneel and beg, you have enough energy to pack your bags." For the first time in ages, I cooked a meal just for myself and enjoyed a relaxing bath without any interruptions. Then I went to my bedroom, locked the door, plugged my ears, and slept like a log. The next morning, the two of them were frantically trying to win me over by running around the house, preparing breakfast and tidying up. Then they knelt down again and pleaded with me, "Please reconsider the divorce. I promise I'll never gamble again." My answer was to give them the divorce papers and some bags stuffed with their belongings, and to warn them that I would sue them if they didn't sign the papers and leave by the end of the day. James freaked out, signed the papers with a trembling hand, and left, dragging his mother-in-law with him. And just like that, I got rid of the pest that had been infesting my house for so long. I was so overjoyed to be free from my in-law nightmare that, I popped a bottle of champagne and celebrated in style. The two of them moved into a rundown old apartment, which they barely managed to afford by using up what was left of James' mom's pension and welfare money. Apparently, James finally got serious about finding a job, and his mom got a low-paying job at a grocery store. But James's efforts were futile, and his mom kept nagging him. How can you make your poor old mother work like this? They had loud arguments every day, and the neighbors got fed up and complained to the landlord. As it stands, it looks like they're about to be evicted again. Aren't they just a pair of idiots?